Good morning everyone and welcome back to another day in the series garage on the series project. I have just been up north for 4 or 5 days and yeah, beautiful fall colors. Just gonna show you a little bit and then you can see how nice it is in the fall going through Norway, also north of Sweden, when all the leaves change colors, the ground change color. It's yeah, really beautiful. So going overlanding in Norway, Sweden, definitely recommend that during the fall. Going back home to my place, or my hometown, which So what do you think? Some really nice views. You can see there are some colors here as well. So yeah, need to go for a little trip when I get the time. First series. But I just wanted to add that I drove home on the summer tires. I didn't want to drive on the brand new winter tires. Like, we drove 1100 kilometers and checking the weather, it was going to be warm the whole trip. The Cooper tires is really great. I cannot fault them. There's a bit of humming now, but other than that, they are really great. And I cannot fault them. Good to drive on. And if you want me to do a review on them, let me know in the comments and I will do a review. I have had them since 2022 now, and yeah, really good. Great drive. Disco is great. Love it. Had that for 11 years, so really good. There was something more. Yeah, coming back down, the temperature on the Discovery went down to 0 degrees, but when it's been warm going into the cold, even though the air is cold, the ground is warm, so it was still safe to drive. And yeah, I wasn't worried at all, and we had a really good drive. Okay, back into the garage. So the series, let's do a quick update status. Clutch is working, brakes not so much. Every side is holding pressure except the left rear, which we have been through and we need to fix. You can see the leak is really bad. I start then on the alternator, which I have gotten in place. There's an issue with the belt being a bit short, but I think if I can manage to make a new bracket here that is shorter, I can make it work, and we can make the belt also work. So that's the plan for today. Other issue that we talked about the other day is that I need to decide which wheel I should use. So this one sits a bit closer, is a bit bigger, the old one from the Dynamo. The new one which I bought to fit the alternator is it's not even squared. It's moving. So spinning completely straight. Come on. Pull off the old wheel, new wheel that I bought. I will even put on the nut just to give it some pressure. it's can you see that? It's moving in all different directions. This is just really, really bad. Okay, I will send a complaint. This is not good enough. So I don't know what it is about new parts being made. It's just so much bad stuff. Don't people care, or I don't understand. Like, this is from the when it was new. It's perfectly straight. So you would think that the technology today would make it easier to make better parts, but apparently the skill isn't there. So yeah, definitely going. That will fix. Need to use the old one. And I think the old one is the better one with the alignment. It's a bit bigger, so I'm not sure if that will make a difference, but we will see. Okay, now get it off. It's just two set of bolts and nuts underneath there. That's one alternator. So what I wanted to look at is the rear here, checking the power connection. So I'm going to check that. I find it strange that it's like this pin type. Why would you do that? Is it because it's should fit the old type series with the old type connections? 2 pins here for positive power, and then the signal one which you have here. On new modern alternators you have this like a bolt that you, and then you screw it on. I guess you could use the old connection here, but I'm not sure the wires are big enough. So this is the old connection. You can see the big type pin, small type for signal, and this wire isn't that big. 2.5, 3 maybe. I'm not really sure that's going to be good enough for the amperage, which is the new alternator. I need to double check. Back in the garage after a day, 2 days. So got stuck with the alternator, couldn't get the belt on, couldn't figure out why. I managed to get the alternator belt on. It's close to the engine, but it will work. I need to make a new bracket, which I will do today, because this is too long and it starts to hit the water pump. So definitely need to make a new one. The alternator doesn't line up perfectly with the wheels, but I think it's going to be good enough for now. Need to adjust that. I think everything is a bit off center, so not the best parts, but it will work. So as you saw, I took off the alternator again to check out the input on the rear. So when I ordered the alternator, I told them to send everything that I need to do the conversion. They didn't send the plugs or the plug. And for the old series, there are some like these, what's it called, Spade connectors, the female Spade connectors, which is bigger. So the regular ones are 6.3 millimeters, and the big one is 9.5, like this. Getting these where I live wasn't easy. Checked every store, nothing in the area. Eric said, talk to this guy, he's a tractor mechanic. I went to there, he wasn't there, so, and all his tools is in his car because he works on site. And yeah, stopped up searching everything, and I figured maybe just check with Perry, because he's at Vianor. They also have a workshop, not only tires. And yeah, and he saved me again. So I managed to get plugs. So these are the ones you need to do. You need 2 of those. In the plug that you get 2 of these 9.5 and then a regular 6.3 in the plug. And you get the wires coming off like this long. So if you're doing the conversion using the Lucas, this is the ACR, the RT something. I will put the part number up, but it's not a screw on, it's a push on with these. So yeah, you need to get that as well. Also spent some time looking into wire size. The wire size on this is really small. It's like 4 maybe 4 square millimeters, and I think I need to go up to like 2 6mm squares. So I'm going to use 2 6mm squares coming off the alternator going into one 12mm cable or 10. I will do the calculation. You don't need much for such a short span, but it's basically, it's going to be 60 centimeters, I think, from the alternator to the solenoid, to the cable that goes to the battery. So really short, but you don't want the voltage drop. So in a cable you get a voltage drop, and you don't want that to go too much down, because the battery wants, usually the battery wants 14.4 volts. I couldn't find, they're so bad on the website, I cannot find the voltage out on the alternator, and the amperage should be 34. Some sites say 35. Some say 40, some say 45, but this it should be around 35. So when I'm dimensioning the cables to 35. So when I get this up and running, I will do some measurements, checking the voltage drop, checking the amperage, making sure everything is all right. So yeah, you don't want too much of a voltage drop. I think they usually, the minimum or the maximum is 3%. So you want to keep the voltage drop below that, so less than 3%. For charging, you want, as I said, 14.4 volt. Okay, let's make a bracket, and that's going to make this from scratch. I have some scrap metal, and then we will see how that goes. Okay, let's get into it. 6, 7. Okay, so I got this scrap metal. It's from this Discovery, actually. When it was a commercial, I have the flooring in the rear, which was metal. This is part of it. 6, 7. I think I only need a small part here, so I'm just going to cut that, and then we will be good. So old, new, a bit of difference. It's going to be enough, plenty strong, I think. And then, yeah, let's put it on and see. It's maybe it's maybe a bit small. That's the alternator in place with the new bracket. It could have been a little bit longer, but it will do for now. There's a tiny bit of adjustment left. I think if the belt stretches a lot, that is going to be an issue, but for now it's going to be good enough. But it's working. Forgot to put in the bolts on the lower end here, so that's what I need to do. Do it. Pulley out. So this bolt here, I think is going to be too long. I will check, because the bracket was on there earlier, and yeah, this is stopping before the screw is in. So yeah, so this bracket used to be here, and it can still be there. So put this back on like so. And the bolt should stop. Okay. It's close. If you pull the alternator back again, There is still some room. Ow! I think that's the third time I hit my little finger on the fan. Fan! Go, go. Woohoo! Looks to be good. Not too sloppy. Alternator's in, but no wiring. That's fine. Okay, alternator is in. Really happy with that. Bracket, belt is working. So yeah, I think I'll leave the wiring for after the startup. So I don't have to worry about that now. Need to go in. Parents are coming soon for dinner. Then going to continue this tomorrow. It's Saturday tomorrow. Do as much as I can before I need to edit this video. So yeah, there may be I just put out series 9.5. So maybe there's going to be a series episode 9.75, and then the 10 episode will be the startup. But we will see. We will see how far I can get tomorrow. We will see. Okay, see you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It's early Saturday morning. Good morning coffee in the garage. As you see, I always spend some time getting all the parts that I think we need to mount. Missing probably the radiator. But I think I have everything, all the gaskets that I need, all the parts. So we have the exhaust, which is new, old inlet, refurbished fuel pump, refurbished carburetor, which I tested. If you haven't seen that video, there's a video on that there. Old bolts, new pipes for the coolant. I have new coolant, new motor oil, so I'm going to change the oil as well. But today I'm just going to be really quick about it. I just want to get as much done because we need to get this started. And yeah, so we just see how far we can get. But first, I think I'm going to start with the exhaust manifold and inlet manifold, get that sorted on, and then the carburetor, fuel pump, change the oil. While that is draining, I can start on putting back the coolant system. Yeah, need to check if the what's it called? The valve, open close valve in coolant. It's called thermostat. It's called thermo, like yeah. So see piping clips. I got these gasket kits. I think so. I think it's top and bottom kit, so it should be enough to just get it sorted. I'm not sure of the quality of this, but I guess it will do for now. Piping you saw. I got new studs for the exhaust and inlet with nuts. New for the exhaust outlet to the exhaust itself. See, I got double up, old ones, new ones, and really new ones. I have found the old, so these are the bolts that we're going to use, and this special type of washers or spacer. And I can see on the old one there's two taps here, so I think I'm going to reuse the old ones because you have the new ones here, they don't have the taps. So I will be going for old spacers but new bolts, basically. And then This is just some old bolts that I find. I'm just going to leave it there. Here you have the old inlet, and you can see there's, I think they've been using some gasket stuff on this, so I'm going to clean this off because I have new gasket. Exhaust manifold, if you it's completely new, but as you see, it's been stored outside for a while, so it's got a bit of rust, but looks to be good. All this is good, just need gaskets, and yeah, let's get into it. So the goal here isn't to make it perfect, it's just removing highs and lows. Looks like there's been a leak here, exhaust leak. But I think the more I do now, the better it's going to be when I put it on. Don't have to take it back off again because of a leak. Okay, so that's 2 hours spent on cleaning this. So time is running too fast, but I think it's good. I think it's good to do this, and I think this is going to be good enough. And I don't want to spend more time on it, so it's just have to be good enough. Just gonna fix the holes, guide the holes, and then it will be done. Yeah, and then clean up this a bit. But first, I need to take some lunch and drive my parents to the airport, and then back in the garage. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so back from lunch and driving my parents and stopping by the hardware store just to buy some things. Ending up coming up with what's it called? Refreaders? Yeah, for inches, which I didn't have. Also, I was thinking of buying a fuel tank, like a outboard fuel tank, but they were so expensive, so I rather bought the refreading tools and a tiny can and some piece of hose and a connection for the pipe, and also I'm hoping this will fit the fuel pipe, original fuel pipe. I'm not really sure, but we will test it out. So let's move this. Just some more brake cleaner I went out, and more gloves. And I found pipe connections from 1/4 inch, and hopefully that will fit. And it does, so that's good. Great, because then I can do the hose connection onto the fuel pipe, put the hose. I think I'm gonna maybe drill a hole, I'm not sure, but I can use this one, just mount it up in the rear, because I don't have a new tank yet. It's still in order and being made. So good. I actually found this in the boat section. So boat section in Norway apparently uses inches when it comes to threads. So yeah, good to know when you have a car that's based on inches. Made me really happy. Okay, good. Things are starting to work out. Let's get into mounting exhaust and inlet manifold. Yes, good. Just re-threading lightly, just so I'm sure that the resistance I'm feeling isn't just threads.
Okay, so that's all the manifold fixings replaced. Now let's move downstream.
Okay, so I wasn't really sure where studs goes, where bolts goes. So luckily, Jeffrey, if you see this, thank you. I'm just checking the, not the bolt pattern, but the pattern of where the small studs go and where I should use some bolts. I saw he fixed his spacers with a new one, stainless steel. I actually have the original ones, and in the bolt kit there's a similar style, but they don't have these small taps on them. So yeah, I'm going to keep the original ones. Hopefully that will be better. And I see they won't contact as much, just only on the tips here. So yeah, and it would give even more tension, because I guess it will bend a little bit. So I'm just going to start with what I know, and I need to know the studs. Which way? Long up, long down, short down. Yeah. Short part down. Then I need a gasket, and there was an old gasket laying around, not used, but it's a new but old stock maybe. So, and that looks much more solid than the oh, don't kink it. Much more solid than the gasket kit I got. So I'm going to use that, and with that on we can put the inlet manifold on. So just putting this manifold gently together, and then we're going to put it on so we can align everything before we tighten it up. Before I put it on, I'm just going to clean out the threads quickly, and then just quickly clean off the head a bit. So this is why I wanted to do this, because this one is just really tight, like so. So probably going to do this one twice. So this refreading kit definitely has paid for itself already. Wasn't sure I was going to buy it, because it wasn't like really expensive, but it costs a bit, and I don't want to spending more money on this before I know that it's running. So, but being here now, rethreading these, I'm glad I bought them. So it's a lot of like oily residue here and dirt. See if we can clean it up. The most important part is, I guess, is to don't have any high or low spots. So the gasket seals up properly between the head and the inlet and exhaust manifolds. It doesn't look too bad. on a straight edge. So you can see where the old gasket has been. I'm not really sure if this is blow-by or if it's water that's been on the gasket. So it's made it to corrode a bit more here. Not really sure. So I'm hoping this is going to seal up. I think that is probably as good as I can get it now without getting it machined. So it's definitely looking a lot better than it was. Ow. Let's get the studs. Do the small ones first. Like so. Is there a way? There's a metal part here. Should that be out or in? Out or in? Does it matter? It can be both ways. Let's do metal out. Okay. Big question is, can you get it on? Yeah. At the top. Oi. A little bit tight in the center here. So we have all the studs and the nuts on the top side. Now we need the bottom end, which is bolts. And you have long bolt there, long bolt there. Same on the other side, so that's 4. And I'm missing 2 bolts, which is supposed to be shorter. So I don't have new ones, but these are the new ones. If I look at my pile here of old ones, I think this is what we are missing. So I need to clean up those, also going to clean up the spacers there, and then, yeah, put them on. Just going to double check without the washers to see how far the bolt goes. Just want to make sure it's not too long. Just double checking that it's the washers that's stopping it, and that's, yeah, goes all the way in. So it's not too long. Great, it's the correct bolts. Now I just need to clean up the other one, and I got all the bolts that I need. Two lower end bolts on the exhaust manifold with the big washers, like so. Quick clean of these. This looks to be surface rust. So the last bolts is the spacer bolts, which pushes on both the inlet and the exhaust manifold. Not really sure which way, but there's a tap. So the taps there are, there's one big one and then one smaller one. And not really sure which one should be where. Let's just try it. Do the same on the other side if we can get access. Not really sure if there's a easy way to do this, but we'll try. You can see it just underneath there, and it's just really difficult to get your hands in. So I'm just going to do it and then come back when it's done. Okay, so I checked the big books. So I checked the big book, and it doesn't say. I cannot find anything about the order you should tighten. So I'm thinking it doesn't really matter. So I think I'm going to do the difficult bolts first. I want to do the inside one here on the because of the looks to be leaking. So not really sure where to start, but difficult bolts I think is a good place, as it's going to be hard to tighten those up afterwards. Let's see if we can get to the most difficult one. So taking a good round around all the studs and bolts into the head. So this should be pretty good. Just gonna tighten up these before I finish up the torquing of the let's see. And it says 17 17 feet of torque. Not really sure, but it says 17, and that's basically 23 Newton meters. So I guess the gasket is being squished now. So on the manifold bolts it says 18 in the big book. So one more. So that's 24. That's where we're at. So I think the gasket is being squished. Okay, so another milestone. All exhaust, inlet manifold, all torqued up. They're torqued up together, which is really nice. Now we can look into getting the exhaust back onto the manifold itself. I think I'm missing bolts, or studs, but I can reuse the old. So I have 2 new ones, but I still have the 3 old ones. So I can reuse those just for now, without any issues, I think. You can see on the edge, on the exhaust there. This is definitely not going to make a good seal. I wonder why this has happened. Maybe because there's been damage while it's been off. So I need a new downpipe, I see. I'm still working on the exhaust, and you can see on the studs here, this part is too long for the exhaust. And I was using the old ones, and one of the old ones was also too long, so I'm not really sure why. So what I did is just use the reed threader and thread it so this part without threads is just smaller. This is so the plate that you're screwing, compressing the exhaust downpipe into the exhaust manifold. This needs to be shorter so you can really tighten it up. So that's done now. We can get it on and finally mount the exhaust. Let's see, I find some other gaskets here. Oh, don't drop the don't drop the nuts down into the manifold. That will be really, really bad. Found some other gaskets that fits much better. Then we have the spacer, which I've seen better days. Put the bad part down. Then we have another gasket up there. And then we will have the refurbished carburetor going back on. And that's been a long time since that's been on there. Putting on these vibration washers. So I'm not going to overdo it, because I can always come back and tighten the on this. I think that's going to be good. Carburetor back on. This is a choke. Clips on here and screws on there. And when we tighten this up, let's see if the choke is pushed in. Like so. That should be good enough. Let's go and test the choke. Full, closed, full. The vacuum pipe for the what's it called? Regulator? No. It works together with the ignition. So when it's noticed a vacuum, it changes the ignition. I don't think I have forgotten what it's called. I'm just gonna put this on so I don't drop anything down here. Don't want to drop anything. Basically now it's just missing fuel line, and then we need the fuel pump. I'm just happy with that. I cannot get any longer today. It's it's almost 7:30 in the evening, so, and I need to edit this video for tomorrow, and I haven't even eaten dinner yet either. So yeah, this is gonna be engine startup part 1 basically. But I think I need to use the whole tomorrow and even Monday, I think, and then I can try and start it up. So yeah, sorry. No startup today, but it's going to be the next one, or we're going to try it next, because now it's just a fuel pump making a tank that works, and then the cooling system. And the cooling system I'm not sure about, so that's going to take so much time. So I'm just going to stop here because I'm just knackered and I need to edit as well. So yeah, hope you enjoy this series this far, and yeah. Like, subscribe, and as always, check out Patreon. It will help me a lot. And share the video. That also helps. And yeah, see you in the next one in engine startup part 2. See ya.